One of the greatest athletes in New Brunswick history, one of the greatest athletes in Canadian history, will be forever linked to the greatest animal on four legs in sporting history. Ron Turcotte has passed away. Now, Ronald Joseph Morel Turcotte, born Drummond, New Brunswick, in the Grand Falls region, was a Canadian thoroughbred racehorse jockey, best known as a rider Secretariat, who ran to the U.S. Triple Crown in '73. Turcotte began his career in Toronto as a hot walker for E.P. Taylor's Winfield's Farm in 1960, but he was soon wearing the silks and winning races. As an apprentice jockey, he rode Winfield's Northern Dancer to his first victory. He gained prominence with his victory aboard Tom Rove in the '65 Preakness. Now, Turcotte soon started working with Canadian trader Lucien Laurent at the racetrack in Laurel, Maryland. In '72, he rode Riva Ridge to victory in the Kentucky Derby and the Belmont. Now, Turcotte became internationally famous in '73 when he rode Secretariat to the first Triple Crown win in 25 years, with records in each race, and Secretariat's phenomenal finish 31 lengths ahead of the field at the Belmont. A photograph of Secretariat winning the Belmont, with Turcotte looking over his shoulder at the pack far behind, became famous. Turcotte was North America's leading stakes-winning jockey in '72 and '73. He was the first jockey to win back-to-back Kentucky Derbies since Jimmy Wingfield in 1902, and the first jockey ever to have won 5 or 6 consecutive Triple Crown races, matched in 2015 by Victor Espinosa. Now, 3,032 career wins, major racing wins: Breeder Stakes 62, Coronation Futurity Stakes 63, Toronto Autumn Cup in '63, Canadian International Stakes in '64 and '71, Lexington Handicap 64-74, Kentucky Oaks 65, Sport Page Handicap in '66, Palm Beach Handicap 66, 67, 69, 70, Suburban Handicap 66, Bernard Baruch Handicap 67, Tremont Stakes 67, National Stallion Stakes 68, Bahamas Stakes 69, Belle Dame Stakes 1970, Diana Handicap 70, 71, 76, Hawthorne Gold Cup Handicap 70, 79, Jockey Club Gold Cup 1970, Wither Stakes 70, Alabama Stakes 71, Flash Stakes 71, Belmont Futurity Stakes 71, 72, Champagne Stakes 71, Gotham Stakes 71, 73, Laurel Futurity 71, 72, Bluegrass Stakes 72, Coaching Clubs American Oaks 72, Florida Derby 72, Great American Stakes, Hopeful Stakes, Hollywood Derby, Manhattan Handicap, Monument Oaks, Sanford Stakes, Wood Memorial Stakes in '72, Brooklyn Handicap and Excelsior Breeders' Cup Handicap in '73, Man o' War Stakes in '73, '74, and '73 as well, the Matron Stakes and Travers Stakes, Dwyer Stakes in '74, Edgemere Handicap '74, '76, Santa Ana Handicap '74, Cornhusker Handicap in '75, Queens County Handicap in '75, American Derby in '76, Aqueduct Handicap in '76, Stymie Handicap '76, '77, Alcibiades Stakes '77, Arlington Washington Lassie Stakes '77, Adirondack Stakes '77, Cop and Saucer Races Stakes '77, Shirleyville Stakes '77, and Stars and Stripes Turf Handicap in '78. American Classic race wins: Kentucky Derby 72-73, Preakness 65-73, Belmont Stakes 72-73, and a Triple Crown in '73. Leading jockey at Woodbine 62-63, Racing Man of the Year in Canada 78, Big Sport of Turfdom Award in '78, George Wolfe Memorial Jockey Award 79, and Alavalino Gomez Memorial Award in '64. New Brunswick Sports Hall of Fame 73, Order of Canada 74, National Museum of Racing and Hall of Fame, New York Sports Hall of Fame, Canada Sports Hall of Fame, Canadian Horse Racing Hall of Fame, Hawthorne Racing Hall of Fame, Paul Ayres Fellowship, Rotary, and Long Island Sports Hall of Fame. Significant horses including Arts and Letters, Crafty Lace, Dahlia, Damascus, Dark Mirage, Fan Felucci, Fort Marzi, Norton Dancer, Politely, Quadrangle, Riva Ridge, Secretariat, Chuvy, Tom Rolfe, and Upper Case. Now, born in Drummond, again, he's one of 12 children, a very big family. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, shortly after he won the prestigious George Wolfe Memorial Jockey Award, which honors a rider whose career and personal conduct exemplifies the very best participant in sport of thoroughbred racing. He was the first person in thoroughbred racing ever to be appointed as a member of the Order of Canada. Unfortunately, his career ended on July 13, 1978 when he fell from his horse, Flag of Elite, golf during the 8th race at Belmont. He suffered injuries that rendered him a paraplegic. In 2015, a statue of Secretariat and Turcotte crossing the finish line at Belmont Stakes were unveiled in Turcotte's hometown of Grand Falls. He left school at age 14 to work with his father as a lumberjack, but then at age 18 headed to Toronto looking for construction work. Now, when he lived in Grand Falls with his wife Gaetan and their 4 daughters, he was an advocate for those with disabilities and helped to raise funds for disability programs. As a well-known survivor of an on-the-track accident, Turcotte made appearances at racetracks to raise funds and awareness of assistance that a permanently disabled jockeys fund provides to fellow injured riders. Unfortunately, he was hospitalized on March 9, 2015, following a single vehicle accident in New Brunswick. The van he was driving flipped after hitting a snowbank. Turcotte and a friend were both injured in the accident. He sustained fractures to both legs, while his friend suffered minor injuries. Now, he died at his home in Drummond at the age of 84. Now, in the 2010 Disney movie Secretariat, the role of Secretariat's jockey is played by Otto Thorwart, a real-life jockey himself. Directed by Phil Cummo, the National Film Board of Canada also did a documentary film on Turcotte's life and career, Secretariat's jockey Ron Turcotte, which had its world premiere in Louisville on May 2013. Now, Bill Heller, the book The Will to Win, Ron Turcotte's Ride to Glory, pick it up. It's a pretty interesting read. Also, the profiles at Penny Chennery, Secretariat.com, his link at the Canadian Horse Racing Hall of Fame, and the U.S. National Museum of Racing Hall of Fame. So he will be greatly missed. In the history of New Brunswick, ladies and gentlemen, you have many Francophone and Acadian heroes, but Ron Turcotte was a hero in a lot of ways. He went through a lot in his career. He established himself outside of his home region, and there was a crazy media guy. He said, "You ever consider harness racing?" He said, "Well, there's more money in thoroughbreds," and like any athlete, he was paid well. He had a great life and a very, very amazing Canadian athlete. Only I think Ron Turcotte could have brought Secretariat to such heights, because you need a good rider if you're at these big events, and that's what he was. And he said, "What do you do with Secretariat so special?" He said, "We just let him run." So, ladies and gentlemen, Ron Turcotte, a big fan to many people in New Brunswick, a big friend to many people in New Brunswick. May he rest in peace. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you're doing here with Sports File, let us know. What a like, comment, subscribe, or share.